Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Cool Crone. I have Val from Dragonfly Crystals with me and Cleo the Seer. And if you read the little crawler at the bottom, you'll see that I am telling you to subscribe to Dragonfly Crystals and to the Cool Crone. And I hope everybody will do that and give us a thumbs up. And so I've got my sister Cleo is with us too. Hi, Cleo. Thank you for joining us. And Val, of course, is here, our guest of honor. And we are going to be taking questions and stuff in the chat. But first off, I just want to have a little chat with Val. Not that she's done anything wrong. We just want to get to know Val a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, Val, what I'm dying to know is, how did you get started doing all this?
Oh,
and by all this, I mean like channeling and reading and that stuff. How did you get started?
I grew up in a metaphysical family. My mom was very into all this kind of stuff. So part of what we used to say in our little meditations is, I am a channel of pure white light of divine source, or I am a channel of the pure white light of the Christ light, whatever, Christ consciousness. So it like perpetuated itself into me being a channel over so many years. And I would say probably when I was hit my 40s, in particular, I was already had a lot of different healing modalities, and I worked with people, but in my own meditations, I'd get tons of information and I would write all this channeling down. And it was really, for me, it was my own personal information, and things would come in from beings, and I'd get energy techniques, healing ideas and things from the Arcturians, from all over the place. And so I've been channeling like that for years and years. And suddenly now, with all this crazy energy coming in, this high vibrational frequency stuff coming in 2022, I just had this urge to make a YouTube to add my channeling. So that's what I did. And, all these things came from that. But they wanted me to come out of the closet, and because I am definitely not one of those outgoing people. So I had to come a little bit out of my comfort zone. Although when you're coming from spirit, from your soul, it doesn't feel as scary or hard because you're not in that place of fear. No matter what you're presented to bring forward, it seems normal and natural. So that's where I'm at. But that's kind of how it all started. Yeah,
I think when you connect with like-minded people, it helps you just relax and allow.
Yeah,
right. And that is just an amazing experience. Just amazing.
It is.
You do cards as well. How did that come about?
I'm sorry. How did what come
about?
Cards.
Doing cards. How did that? come
about? I just had this. It's just a progression, and I had this. All these things in meditation, all these guides, guiding me along, and I needed to take some classes regarding tarot cards. It just happened. This is how it all evolved, and all these pieces came for me to these components that make up what I'm doing now. And you don't know why you're guided to do it. You don't know what's going on, but you're going ahead with the program because you feel like, oh, okay. I mean, there's nothing to stop you from doing it. So, tarot, learning tarot was one of the pieces, and I know it's to gain that platform with the community and be here with everyone, because I did channel what my platform was in 2022, And everyone's platform changes every year. It's kind of like what your foundation for the year is, and you can channel that for yourself. And mine was that community, that coalescing of the community. And they showed a vision of, like, I don't know, it was almost like jellyfish coming down like umbrellas and
Ooh.
like that. It was a weird kind of thing. I don't remember the whole thing, but I did write it down. But it really was about gathering together that community. Well, I didn't have to gather it because you're all here. I just had to do my thing and
Show up. Yeah.
yeah. And then, the tarot cards are part of how we, can reach everyone energetically. And, I love that we share energy back and forth with people in the chat and in this community. It's just amazing with all of that, these beautiful people. I love that. And yeah, I mean, you can't make this up. This is a great community.
Mhm.
So,
No kidding. So when you're doing the tarot, does the tarot have anything to do with the actual channeling that you've come up with?
when I do the tarot, I look at the pictures mainly, even not the book meaning of them necessarily, and I get some intuitive hit from that for whoever I'm reading for or whatever the question is. And yes, so everyone channels all the time. We're always channeling, and you guys channel like crazy, and I am doing it too. You may not even realize you're doing it. You're channeling at work even. So it's all that information that comes through. It just comes in your head and out your mouth, and you go, "Oh, that was good. How did I come up with that?"
Well, yeah, really. I mean, the entities that you're channeling, Colleen's question, I was going to ask kind of the same thing, but I was like, okay, you're asking, you come across somebody that's talking to you and giving you messages. First of all, how in the world you write all this stuff down as it's happening? I don't know, because I think if I tried to do that, I would lose the momentum. But on the other hand, how are these spirit guides that are contacting you?
Uh, here's how it is. I have my team, and my team has been with me for a pretty long time. Um, and I know who they are energetically, not necessarily by name. Like there's one group of beings that I call R9, and it's just a collective of like almost all my guides, but not all of them. And then there's some group that comes in and they call themselves All That Is. So I have these components of things, but that's not what happens. When I go into meditation and I ask Archangel Michael to protect me, I surround myself with a light and I ground myself into Mother Earth and I bring in the white light. And as I am talking to Source, or as the Source energy shows up and I'm there, I can feel pressure coming down, and that pressure tells me that some other beings are there as well who may have a message. And because I always say, no, only the pure white light of divine source, the white light of truth, and that essence of the divine source can only come in, then I know no matter who comes in, they're going to have to be that vibration or, So I've only gotten the most beautiful messages. And what comes in is I get the impression of who that is, or they tell me. The words form in my head because I'm claircognizant. And I have just gone to a pen to write it down just because I thought it would be a lot easier than trying to speak into a recorder. But I've tried it a few times, and there's a little difference when I'm just channeling, in saying it versus I used to say it as I was writing it, but now if I just channel it, I can feel it's not as seated in, and I feel a little bit too involved. But if I just write it, it's like I really step out of the way and I'm just writing a word, a word, a word, a word, and I don't even know what they say till the end, if that
Wow.
even makes sense. So
Yeah,
I know eventually that it'll probably get to channeling live, but it won't be trance channeling. I'll be here. So,
yeah. You know, a lot of mediums do something physical like that, like writing or doodling or something while
yeah,
they're
because
channeling, and it does help the flow.
it
And
really, really does.
some also will suggest that you begin this process by allowing yourself to do automatic writing.
Yes,
You know,
right.
just meditation, and then just allow your hand to just move on the paper if it wants to or not. And eventually then that helps you identify who you're talking to, or like my girlfriend started with automatic writing.
Oh,
I actually taught her how to do the automatic writing. It didn't come naturally to me, but I knew the steps to help her
yeah,
figure that one out. That was weird. And you know, now she did the automatic writing for a few months. And at first it was just gobbledygook, and it just got stronger and stronger that she was actually able to write this big loopy hand that we could read back. And she had a connection with her mother who had passed, and her mother gave her a lot of really good messages. Um, and then eventually she just put the pen down and said, I don't need it. I can
right.
keep it up here. And I was
And
like, more
I
power to you.
have to tell the story too, because Carrie of O'Donnell of um, Tarot Soul Writer, actually, I took her class, and that's what she does is a form of automatic writing. Not quite; it's still in the same category, but what she has you do is you're pulling a card on a subject, and then you just start writing. You write what you see in the card, and pretty soon channeling comes through.
Yeah.
And what happened to me when I took her classes, the beings would come through, like all that is came through, and he was saying all kinds of profound things. And
Yeah.
Carrie, I think that's someone else. And that was about the time when all these beings were bringing messages forward. That kind of opened that door to say, okay, these beings are stepping through. I can take their messages. Um, that I, the person that comes through is the person I take the message from. It's not going through anyone else. It's whoever comes forward and has a message. So I'm just, you know, I could
It's
just pick it up. I don't know why, and it's strong. It's powerful. It's not like I have to work at it. It's fun because it's easy. I've been doing this a lot
it's
of years.
fascinating, Val. It's fascinating what you do. And
Yeah.
I've looked at some of your videos and stuff, and I kept thinking, what are you doing? Are you just walking around the house and
Yeah,
all of a
I
sudden?
mean, because it isn't hard. I'm in my meditation. I finish up and I ask, is there anyone? I'm in that meditative state, and I ask, is there anyone who'd like to step forward and give me a message? Or I say, this is the subject. Does anyone want to come through with that? And someone will always step forward, whether it's an archangel or an ascended master or whomever it is. And it literally is so easy. It's like riding a bike for me. So it's like no effort whatsoever.
Cool.
More effort to type it up and tell everyone on a video. That's why it would really be fun to get to the point where I could just channel. Maybe what I have to do is write while I'm channeling, because that connection is a little bit through a ego filter more than when I'm just writing the words. I'm just writing words. I don't even know what they are. But when I have to say it out of my mouth and it's coming through, I have to, I've only done it about 4 times now. And it's something that will probably eventually happen, because I think it's really nice for people in the chat to be able to ask questions and be able to get an answer in real time.
Yeah. So when you're like doing a reading and doing the tarot on this platform,
Yeah.
Are you are these different entities that come? Okay, my spirit guides, I'm thinking I know who my spirit guides are, and they're just, an eclectic group of kind of a motley crew of these spirit guides out there. But they're not, they don't come to me and say, I am so and so for it. Is that what you get? Is
My
somebody
guides never tell me, my guides don't tell me who they are. I don't have any names. I see color forms for their energy, and I kind of sense, but when I get like ascended masters like Babaji come to me and impress their energy on me, I know who it is, because throughout all these years, if I call on them, that's their energy for me, and that's what I sense, so I know. But literally, I'll ask, because they're giving me a message. I ask if they don't say, but usually they're starting the message out with, this is blah 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 blah. Yes, I have a message for you.
Okay.
And that message is, you can tell if that content is going to be helpful to people or not. And I've never had any content that wasn't helpful. They give a lot of good tips about energy and how to use it in this world, and what helps you manifest and what helps you stay centered. And I've learned a lot. I have to go back through and put titles saying, keywords, so we can go back through to those channelings and know what's inside the content. But that's another thing to do.
It's really fascinating what you do. I just
I don't think of it as there's so many people channeling.
Well, I know, but yours is different. Yours is, as far as I haven't seen everybody on YouTube that does this, but I feel like yours is different, and that's why I kind of centered on that. I wanted to see what is she doing, and not. I mean, you're so accomplished. It's so deceiving because. Yeah, no, you are. And so
you are, Val. You're very accomplished.
Yeah. So when I was first looking at this, I thought, well, wait a minute. There's so much more to Val than just what I had seen originally. I mean, you've just got these different facets of things that you do that I'm just like, well, how did she ever figure that out? Knowing that you have a background with your family of doing this kind of stuff. So you've been doing it all, like most of your life, right?
A long time, yes.
Yeah. So I guess that helps too.
Yeah. As an adult, though, when I was about 20 or 21 and I read My Life in Tibet, and I've told this story before, that I was reading about his John Edwin Dingle's journey up the Himalayas to meet his master, and there was a gong the next morning that was sounding in the book, and this gong was like a real thing ringing in my head and all throughout my body, and it was like I was there in this reverberation of this huge sound of this big gong ringing over and over. And that's when it, like, I had this huge awakening, kind of like, well, you're online now. You could know all your time growing up, XYZ, meditate, blah, 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 yoga, blah, blah. But until you experience, an energetic awakening like that. But of course, I could see angels when I was a kid who'd direct me to do different things to help people. And I had these experiences, and I had an out of the body experience when I was about 5 or 6. I fell off my bike, split my chin open, and went, kind of like looping. But I flew out of my body, and I was just over my body watching everything while they took me to the hospital. But I mean, I got to go out into the universe. I was out there in space, and I knew the secrets of the universe. Here's this little kid who knew how everything worked because I was out of that body. And then when I went back in, I couldn't remember enough to tell adults that they should pay attention to what I was saying. And I rushed to tell them, and they, oh, honey, she hit her head too hard.
Of course. Of course.
She hit her head too hard. So anyway, there's all kinds, so many mystical experiences that happened. But
Well,
one,
and they love to do that kind of stuff with children anyway, because children are just so open and
I'm
spontaneous.
so young that yes, I was totally, the minute I was out of my body, and my dad and this lady who was taking me to the hospital kept talking to me because they were probably afraid I was going unconscious. They didn't know what was going on. So I'd fly back into my body, answer him, and I'd be like, oh, please leave me alone. So I flew out, and it's like there was no ceiling on the car. You could fly, seem really high. And in the hospital, same thing. But I just zoom out there. I was everywhere. And
Yeah, so and I think if you would have told that to people that didn't understand what was going on, you'd gone to a different kind of
yeah,
hospital.
probably. I mean, this was back in the 50s, so
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'd be going to the psychiatric ward.
But I know that myself. I've done this writing thing. Oh God, it must have been like 20 years ago.
Mhm.
And after I got done with it, I was just like, God, this seems so. This seems so intelligent. What have I written? And so I read it, and I thought, yeah, what the hell did that mean? I had no idea what it meant,
Right.
and so I never
Yeah.
pursued it again. But I just thought, I don't know where that came from. And
Yeah.
the thing you were talking about with the gong, at one point early on when when going through an awakening,
Mhm.
definitely this was an awakening,
Yeah.
and my spirit guide came through to me, and it sounded like they were yelling. I mean, it got so loud. And I know now that what it was is that I was just so open to it, and so I didn't know anything about spirit guides. I didn't know at all what was happening.
That's
I thought it was nuts, but when it got so loud, it was kind of like some other spirit guide kind of stepped in and said, "Okay, we got to tone it down." And I just told him, I said, "Quit yelling at me."
They will, because you gave them some direction, they will definitely step
Oh
it
yeah,
down.
they toned it right down. But I mean, that was such an experience.
Wow,
So that thing with the gong, I
that
can
would
relate
be
to.
wild. That would be wild because mine happened after, I'd been meditating for like an hour a day, X amount of, years. And, of course you're going to
Oh, I had no idea what I was doing. I was
totally opened up and
I was at a very critical place in my life, and I needed a lot of help, and it was really a horrible time in my life. And
that's when it happens, Cleo, when things are when it's a turbulent time, chaotic and whatever, it's like an opening happens that for you.
Well, and I was looking for help, and that's the only place I could find it. So, and it absolutely did. It absolutely, I just, I've been into this ever since. But, I mean, it's like if you, like any of these people over here on chat, that if they're thinking about, well, how do you get in touch with your spirit guides, which seems to be a regular question that I see, that really you just meditate, or you just don't even have to meditate. You just, I found prayer helps, and, just kind of just letting go of everything. So you allow this stuff to come in. But sometimes, like I said, I mean, they were yelling at me. So it just came in so much, and it just kind of freaked me out. It also kind of pissed me off.
Your channel just opened up like boom.
Exactly. But so anyway, the thing you do with the channeling and the thing you do with the writing all this stuff down and stuff, it's really amazing that you can do that. I mean, it's just awesome.
Really, thank you. it's funny how when you do something and it's easy, you don't, it's not like I don't value it, because I do, obviously, but I don't get involved in the value of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't put myself anywhere in the middle of it. I'm just delivering something.
Well, and I found that if I'm not having a good time doing this,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
And
So
that's
it's always a good time.
And you know, that's why I was saying it's fun to do.
Yeah, it is. It is really fun
to get this information and whatnot and present it, because I get a kick out of it. You know, there's no doubt.
It's kind of like you know all the gossip and everybody else knows.
You know what? That is it, because I'm getting the inside scoop, and I'm like, well, really? I told Marina, Part Center Tarot, my guide, all that is, came up with this first thing. It was back it was January, or late January. And he said, the doorway is opening to the veil, and it will never close. And he said all these prophetic things, and I put that was one of my first channelings, and I was like, oh God. I said to Marina, I said, I felt like he was sticking his foot in it, because I mean, like, but then it was all like every single guide that came through said the same kind of thing. All these people out here are getting the same information coming in. We're all saying the same things. And I thought it was really taking a leap by saying that.
Yeah.
But he was, they were right. I mean, it's a group.
And let me ask you one other thing. There's a person, or not a person, an ascending master that you connect with, that is, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name. It starts with an S, like Sonatus or
Sanat Kumara.
The one that's like Jesus.
Sananda is Jesus.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Sananda is Jesus' ascended name. I mean, it doesn't matter what you call him. You can still call him Jesus.
Okay.
You know, Sananda, once they're ascended, whatever their name they resonate with, we give them that name. It's all in our, whatever we give them a name of. But Sananda is one of the ascended master names for Jesus. Just like Nada is also Mary Magdalene. It doesn't matter, because it's all that beautiful energy. You could almost think of it as an archetype energy of something, like all the divine mothers, the Kuan Yins, the Isis, the Marys, all the Marys. It's that facet of every single component of the divine feminine, or, they're teaching us some aspect of something.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks. I just wondered what that was all about.
Well, they're components. I mean, who's to say that this information is actually a being? What we know is it's helpful information. I mean, who are ascended masters really? Are they really these beings? I don't know. I mean, I get ET channeling too, galactic information. Our minds on the earth plane can make things up to be something or mean something, but we're getting this information in, and I choose to give them names. They tell me what their names are. I don't know, because I'm not off planet. You have to have some trust and faith. I mean, when I do channel, I get this beautiful energy coming in, and it makes me feel wonderful. So you're getting higher vibrational energy, and by the message. And usually, if all this great energy is coming in, it's not just some random energy coming in.
Right. So, well, don't you believe that it's coming through your soul in order for you to get this message?
Good question. I think that when you channel, there's something that opens up that you create this doorway through, I would say, your heart. It's a resonance where you are in the oneness. Rather than saying your soul, I would say that when you're in that oneness, like when you've done a meditation and you're going to open up and you're going to accept in messages. I've done a lot of the heart work during that meditation, and I've connected. And if you wanted to say the heart is the Holy Grail, or, you know, the heart is the connection with your soul self, and everything resides there, I'd say that centering allows that flow. I don't know if you can say it goes through your soul. I don't know. Maybe
I think it comes through you, through your soul. And I think it's something that's been built into everybody.
Yeah.
And
everybody can do it.
You know, to me, I don't know. I try to take something like this and look at it logically, which I probably should never do, because there's not a lot of logic to it.
Well, you know, and every channeler is going to have a different story about how it flows through them or what. I mean, everybody's got a different experience. So
yes, yeah. Oh, it's very individual, but it's also just seems to me very spiritual.
It is very,
and that's why I think about the soul, and I think about that everybody has a soul, so everybody can do this if they want to.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I do think personally, that from, you know, how my reality is for this kind of thing is through the soul. And so, you know, you think through the heart, I think through the soul. It doesn't matter. Just
I haven't even thought of it. That just came to me. But I have to say that no matter what, if you are opening to channel like you have done, Cleo, you can definitely channel any being that you want and channel through any message that you want. And you just have to make the time to sit down and do it. And you know that. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, you can get some good information.
Yeah,
I have one from my guides that is a forecast for this year. And I haven't done anything with it because I want to see, well, what shakes out. It's because I'm not going to put a forecast out there till I see what's going to happen. I got to see if, you know, it's accurate. But yeah, because I only want to put information out there that is helpful, although I have only gotten information that's helpful.
Well, like it is pretty amazing. Like when we do the Mystic Four, you know, how
we are all like the synergy with the Mystic Four is like you can feel it. It rushes through all of us, and you can get I'm getting the chills already. We really have some kind of flow going there.
We do.
Yeah.
But, you know, it does blow my mind. I mean, because this is my first experience with something like that. And I just was like, how could this be happening? And I'm thinking, I don't know, but it is. And that we can go full circle, and one may disagree and one may agree. And then all of a sudden, where the bottom line is, we all come up with the same stuff. We all come up with the same answers. It's just mind blowing.
It is mind blowing. It is mind blowing. And it just shows you that the people's angels and guides are there with them, you know, giving them the message, giving the messages through us that they're going to need to hear. Our guides are working with their guides, and it all funnels through. And yeah.
Well, it really represents that it's a real thing. This is real. This is not. This is not for people with a wild imagination. It really happens.
It's really true, though. It's really true. And it's good to point that out, that, you know, you can really go a lot of different ways as you read cards. But if you're just ready to receive messages when you pull the card and you look at what it's saying, and you just, oh, this is what that means for me, to me right now, for this person. Yeah. And you're not making things up, and it's flowing through you and you're expressing it. So
Yeah, well, and it also helps that everybody's had a little bit of practice. You know, everybody's been doing this for a while, not necessarily on YouTube, not
yeah,
necessarily in groups,
yeah,
but just to know, you have to trust what you're hearing,
yeah.
even though a lot of times I'm just like, what did I just say?
I
What?
know, and believe me, Cleo, I pull cards and I go, oh, I don't like this card. I don't want to say it, but I keep it out because it's going to be important, even though
Somewhere down, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I know what you're saying. Um, it's fun to know that in the chat when you get the feedback saying this really helped me. I really resonated with it, and thank you. Um, then it makes us feel like, yeah, our energy sharing and what we're doing is making, is of service and making an impact in a good way. And
And validating, just so validating.
yeah, we need that feedback and to know that we are hitting, the sweet spot there for people's growth and information. Yeah, because that's,
I do wonder if there's some people that kind of jump from one live broadcast to another and kind of compare their readings and stuff that they're getting. I would love to know if they're getting a good response for all the way around, or if it's something totally different from one to the other.
you know what? That's what we talked about before, Cleo. And I think here's what we say about it, that there are levels to the information. And so when one group of people are getting this story and another group are getting this story, it's all resonating and it's all true, but it's from a different perspective. Like for me, I seem to read on the spiritual perspective. What's your soul's path? What is your soul doing? How are you doing in your life with your centering and your oneness and whatever? That's, I can't help it. That seems to be my focus.
Mhm.
Another person's level may be, well, it looks like you're having fights with your husband. You're going to have to, this will work out. Try and look from a broader perspective. Stay balanced, be the observer. Everyone is valid. It's just different levels. That's that's what I see.
Well, I agree. I agree. I totally agree. I'm going to just step away for a minute and shut the curtains because we're starting to get the sun here.
Anyway,
Listening to you two talk, I've just been letting you guys chat because it's really, really interesting and a lot of good stuff is coming out. But I just want to say hats off to your wicked, powerful, witchy mama who put all this stuff into your head. I mean, she may not have called herself a witch, but she does all the same things that I do, all
yeah,
of it.
yeah,
And noticing that as my daughters are getting older, they they're no longer poo-pooing what I do, and they're starting to use their own gifts and use their own abilities, things they've either learned from me or developed themselves. Like my youngest daughter started really looking into astrology just for herself, and she's actually very good at it.
yeah.
Um, but they're both very intuitive. My oldest daughter really uses it, I think, even more than my youngest daughter does. And they are very telepathically connected as well. So, it doesn't
Yeah.
hurt to have a witchy
And,
mama. That
and
really
that is
helps.
so important to be that that gateway, that opening for them to get this information. And believe me, they got more than just your words from being around you and
Yeah.
being in your family. So they're blessed, definitely. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I have
They're
to say, I was just thanking my mom, even though she's on the other side, that just today for everything that she did, metaphysically for me and my sister and I growing up. We really got a good foundation for everything. Yeah.
So
So
does your sister do the same types of things you do?
She actually, early on, she belonged to the Self-Realization Fellowship, which is Paramahansa Yogananda's organization. Um, and she did meditate and do all that for years. But, I think she had so many problems in her life, just one thing after the other, that it kind of like led her off of focusing on it. But she is spiritually minded, but I don't think she's doing anything like that with it now. But
and for some people who get those connections, it's just very personal. I mean, the whole journey is very personal, but
it is.
not everybody wants to share it with the world. Or maybe when she's older, she'll share it with the world. You never know.
You never
But
know.
let's go ahead and take some questions from the chat. So
Okay.
I've been starring a few things. So I'm going to start with the first one is from Early Ritual, and it says, question, I'll put it up here. It's kind of big. I recently saw someone who passed around 30 years ago, and it's nearly been that long since I had last seen them. Playful, but curious as to why now.
Why now? I feel like they're revisiting you, sort of like whatever was going on for you in that relationship. I feel like they're coming to remind you of something, either something you have to let go of, or that feeling of connectedness. You'll be the one to understand what that is. But I think that's a big thing for you. So pay attention to what that relationship was for you, because they're coming to remind you of something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, Cleo.
Yeah, what Val had just said. Yes, anytime you have something like that going on that's from a long time ago, you have to kind of what was the relationship like? What did you learn from that person? What was that person in your life, and how would it affect something now? I mean, it takes some thought. I wouldn't just dismiss it though, because that seems very important for you.
Yeah, the observer.
The
The
observer.
observer is saying to you, this may be something that's repeating in your life now, or it's something that you need to look at and observe what's going on in your life now that might compare to that, and navigate accordingly, in the observer mode, not reactionary. But
Yeah.
I pulled a few cards, and I also got a message on this myself, that I think that this person is showing up for you to highlight that at this moment in your life, and this may echo something that was going on with that relationship that you had with them, but at this moment in your life, you're due for an awakening, that things are gonna like open up for you. And yeah, you will feel like the observer and very calm and zen about it. So perhaps earlier in your life, when you played with this stuff, it was more frantic, more desperate, more, I have to have it, I have to have it now, I have to do all this stuff. And now, with some time, 30 years of time and some distance, now you're more calm, you're more centered, you're more mature. And so now you can look at these cards, the Chariot and the Magician.
nice.
You've got powerful stuff coming, and it may feel still a little bit like it's out of control, but it isn't. It's you. Don't be afraid of it. It's you.
Yeah.
That's why they're coming back, to help you.
Awesome.
Okay, so next, let's go to this one from Mika Goddess. Any messages from my spirit guides? I've been feeling two guides next to me. Oh, good. I'm going to let the mediums take this one because my cat just got up on my table, so I can't put my cards down. So go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, they definitely want you to, I don't know if you've been meditating or connecting with them in a deeper way, but they have messages for you that you can hear and receive. And they want you to spend some time doing that. And I pulled the Holy Grail for you. And this card is about inner discovery, finding sacredness. You are what you seek. This is what they're trying to tell you. So go within, open up. It doesn't even have to be a meditation, but just sit down on the couch, pull yourself inward, and let that connection happen because they have things to tell you. Good stuff.
Yeah, she's there's it depend. I mean, you're feeling two guides. I mean, if these guides that you've felt before, or is this something new? But there's definitely the message. I'm trying to think of what the message is, and it just depends on whatever's going on in your life right now. If there's something troubling you, these guides want to. They might not have an answer, but they want to comfort you. But if it's something else, they're basically there to support you and comfort you. And whatever it is you're doing. So Val, go ahead. What were you going to do?
I just pulled message in a bottle. So really, they want you to connect to them so they can do whatever they're here to give you, support you, be with you. And I think down the road, there's a lot of things they want you to do, and that may be part of your spiritual path. So,
and they're being very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Very loving also, but very supportive, and that's not necessarily saying there's something wrong in your life or something right, but that they are just there to help whatever it is is going on with you.
Nice. Okay, next. C or CS says, "Hi all, I'm currently looking for a new job. Do you see anything soon I'll like?"
Absolutely. I see it right away, especially with all your little hearts going on. You've got the vibes. You're drawing it to you. Yeah, you're gonna find something you do like, and you're doing it you're doing it as it's for yourself, but your vibe is attracting something really positive. Okay, if that makes any sense. And keep on looking, and it's right out there, and you will know it when you see it.
Absolutely. And I got the Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings, abundance, prosperity. Open yourself up to these new gifts, new job, money. You can't do better than that for this question.
Excellent. Okay. I don't think I can improve on that, so I'm just going to let that stand.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Okay, Create Love says, "Any message from my spirit, my guides? I've felt off last couple of weeks and can't figure out why." Well, was it Mercury retrograde and all that Pluto and Saturn nonsense that was happening? That could have been it. The wicked Mercury retrograde. Ugh.
Really, just
That was
horrible.
really bad. God, it was sitting right on top of my moon. Right on top of my moon. So it just made me feel bad about myself the whole time. I'm just like, "Colleen, what's wrong with you?"
It was very miserable.
Yeah, it was a bad one.
Do you feel different now?
Yeah, I feel lot. And things changed as soon as it went direct on Mother's Day. The next day, everything started going fine at work, at home, with the cats, everything. It
It's
just
like a switch flipped. And
Yeah.
absolutely. It
I
really
got
did.
up and I go, oh, I can breathe again.
Yep. So if it's that create love, then our messages are just like, okay, you made it. But
Exactly.
I'll throw a few cards. I'll throw. I won't be that lazy. I'll throw a few cards.
Oh,
Well, and if something did occur to that time that's still lingering, just try to let it go. Whatever's going on, try to let it go, because you don't want to hold on to that. If that is indeed what's going on, that made you feel off.
yeah.
If it was Mercury retrograde interfering,
Yeah.
when
And
you get
go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I got the fates, which really is about paying attention to, what you're bringing forward, and so handling everything around you. But Treasure Island is coming. But again, I got the Observer and the Holy Grail. So I keep pulling this card out of all the cards I have, and the Holy Grail is in your heart. That's your divine feminine in your heart. And inner discovery, finding sacredness. You are what you seek. So what they're telling you is put out what you want to receive. Whatever you think about, keep that aligned with all that you want to manifest, and everything should work out fine.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got for you. I got the Three of Pentacles and Judgment. So the Three of Pentacles is group work, and it also means work in general. So there is some work to be done with other people. So if you have been avoiding other people because you've felt off, you need to reconnect with people. And also the Judgment card in there is probably you being hard on yourself and believing that you somehow deserve to feel like this, or allowing that down feeling to just take hold. I always say this, even feelings and emotions in your body are moving thoughts, right? And thoughts can be changed. So the more you program yourself to bring yourself out of that, the better off you'll be. I mean, there may be some lessons there. Mercury retrograde is all about going back and reviewing things. But the final card that comes up for you is the Star. So you are going to have, why is it so blurry? There we go. The Star, which I love this deck. I love the Star card in this deck. It's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
gorgeous.
And she's pouring the water there. She's got the beautiful flamingo, which I think means eat more shrimp so you can be pink like a flamingo. And drink lots of water. Drink lots of water, healing waters, healing, intuition, all of that stuff. But work with people, because if you feel bad and then you kind of withdraw from people, you might end up feeling even worse because you're not with your friends who could cheer you up. So you get a little weird cycle going on there. So get with people and start monitoring your self-talk to be extremely positive, because you've got some great things coming, some great stuff coming. Right? Okay.
Yep.
All
That's
right.
what it felt like from both of you on the cards, that they're telling you that you've got something good coming up. So
Absolutely.
don't hold on to this.
We're all releasing all this stuff that's coming up. It's every one of us. So don't single yourself out or separate yourself from anyone else, because everybody's purging all this stuff.
They are, and when you're desiring things and wishing for things and wanting things to come true, it can feel like, oh, that'll never happen because that's too fantastic. Oh no, it'll happen. It'll happen. This stuff's for real. Just as my sister was saying, all these readings and everything, this is for real. Your desires can manifest. And we have an old saying in the pagan community: don't stop 5 minutes before the miracle.
There you go. Oh, you just gave me the chills.
Believe. Believe in it, manifest it, visualize it, see it in front of you, and it'll happen.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah,
Oh my
absolutely.
God. Yes, absolutely.
All right, so on to Vivian. May I have a message from Spirit about the changes coming my way, please? And thank you. So
Okay.
polite, Vivian. Of course, we'll give you
Very
that
polite.
message.
Very polite.
You know, the changes that are coming are really good. However, as you're going through the changes, I see you kind of tripping and because you're just not sure what is going on. So not that you're physically tripping, but that the feelings within are just kind of like, yeah, I want to do that. Well, wait, no, maybe you're not. Well, yes, I do. No, wait, what? In kind of rethinking the whole thing.
Round and round. Yeah,
Is that what that card
that's
means?
what that card says. It's the thoughts goes
Round and round, yeah.
round.
It's just like one step forward and then, just a second, put on the brakes and, oh, well, no, wait, I can do this. So anyway, whatever the changes that are coming are good and positive, but in order to get from A to B or C or wherever you're headed with it, you have a tendency to kind of halt and then go again, and then halt and then go again. Just feel confident that something really positive's going to happen. And that's what your spirits are there for, and they're trying to help you with that. So yay you're having a good time coming up here.
There's some good things coming up for you, Viviani. So I've got a solar light upgrade. So, I think of the sun as the great solar sun. And the great solar sun has more metaphysical meaning than we can even impart to it. So when you get a card like this, that is ultra, ultra powerful. Solar plexus chakra, inner fire, and willpower. Remember that. So there's loyalty, and loyalty not just to your family, but be loyal to your heart, your sacred heart, your divine feminine. Time is going by. Pull in your divine feminine receiving energy. Stay out of your round and round and round they go thoughts, because you're really blessed. And this is why the solar light is coming through. That is complete clarity. That is a deep connection with divine source. Huge. So,
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah, I don't want to follow that, so I'm just going to.
Yeah, that's nice, really nice.
I am going to say, though, Vivian, that when she's talking about solar, we do have a really beautiful full moon in Sagittarius coming up on June 4th. And so I'm going to be putting my video up this weekend all about that. Please watch that video because I think it'll have important messages for you. Okay. All right. Now, Val, we're going to lean on you and Cleo on you as well on this one. I don't know if you guys can do this or not, but you can give it a shot. Hi, Val. Can you channel my former boss, Oscar? He died 7 weeks ago. I truly miss him and cried at his funeral. I worked hard and it was never about the money for me. I really appreciated Jim. So his name was Jim. So I don't know what you guys pick up, but go ahead.
He's coming through like crazy. And he's saying he really appreciated you. He really appreciated your energy and all your efforts, and he felt that connection, and he's making me cry.
It's very fresh.
He really has, in his heart, he really feels deeply. Okay. Gotta get out of this energy. He came in so strong. I'm glad this panel's hiding me.
Yeah, he just really thought the world of you too.
That's it. Thought the world of you.
It's very, that's so cool when you have a boss that you just respect them, they respect you, you have a good working relationship, and this guy just Oh, he seems like a really
Yeah.
genuinely caring kind of person. And, the fact that you say it was not about the money, it wasn't about the money for him either, but, that he just really, really enjoyed working with you and he thought the world of you.
Yeah. Yeah. He has deep, deep, deep love for you as a human being. And
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Very nice. Thank you very much, you guys. Okay, one more we're going to do because we've just hit the hour mark.
okay.
And this is from Kimber. Do you see me getting a restraining order against my ex?
Damn right. You bet. That son of a bitch.
Oh, hold back. Holy cow.
Tell us how you really feel, Cleo.
That's what came to my mind as soon as I saw that question.
I am telling you right now. Yeah.
Okay, Kimber, I guess we answered the question.
Well, but this guy's he's making your life he's interfering, he's making it difficult, miserable maybe.
You're going to be celebrating the death of that whole thing. So don't worry. I mean, the death of the situation. This is what I'm getting. So don't worry.
But I do get he really is a son of a bitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh.
it feels like.
Well, that's why she needs a restraining order.
Yeah, I know.
You're going to be celebrating. You're going to be happy about it. So it's going to happen.
And that restraining order is going to irritate the hell out of him. But I think he's going to get over it and realize he needs to just back off and go do his life, whatever he needs to do, and leave you alone.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I pulled a few cards and I just want to tell you, Kimber, yeah, you'll get the restraining order, but also this in the long run could affect your bank account, but don't let it affect the way you value yourself. There are things that are more valuable than money in this. And also this may not be the only time you need to get a restraining order against him. So watch yourself and put up as much protection as you can spiritually, emotionally, mentally, financially, with your neighbors, with your friends, with, just be really, really careful and do everything that they tell you when you get the restraining order. Follow all the directions and then some, I've got a little ash. If you want to write to me, I can mail it to you and you can use that for a little protection spell if you want. But you do need to be careful, but you'll get the restraining order. And if this goes any further, just remember what I said. You are the most valuable thing in this, and this situation could affect your money.
What?
So did you get any feeling that this man was dangerous?
Yeah.
Or did you just get the feeling that he's like an irritation, like you want to just get rid of him? But
yeah, I don't think he's a mass murderer or anything. I don't
right.
He's not like uber violence, but he's not going to be restrained this only time. He's going to need the restraining order. He may need another one.
Because I feel like he doesn't want to get in trouble with the law at the same time all this is going on. I mean, he may push the envelope like you're saying, Colleen, at some point. But yeah, he doesn't want to get in trouble. So if Kimber does everything by the book and, and is careful.
I don't know if you guys were married or not, but if you have an attorney on the side, keep that person available to you.
Send letters.
Yeah, and when you get that first restraining order, take notes because you might, if you have to get another one, it'll be much easier to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't tell if he's dangerous or if he's just imbalanced or if he's just a jealous kind of person.
I think he's just jealous kind of, what?
Immature. He's immature.
Yeah,
There's a big immature thing coming from him.
Yes, very.
So, and we're not lawyers, we're not police people, we're not, the judicial system. So of course, ask professionals for help with this. But from what we're getting, yep, restraining order, check.
Yeah.
Happening.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay. So that's let me just take a quick look here at the comments here. I think we're pretty much Kimber, 100%. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Finally realized he needs this. Here's one more. I think it's the only one. I'm sorry if I'm missing somebody's question. We'll do this one more. Sil E says, question from me, please. Will my son Roger finally realize he needs his children in his life? Oh, that's sad.
That is sad.
It's sad.
I hesitate to say it, but I feel like he is on this kind of separate journey for a while. And I think he's going through his own things. 8 of Swords, 9 of Wands, and he has his own ambition and whatnot. But just intuitively, it's going to be a while if he has a change of heart. I think he's just working on so many things for his own life.
He doesn't really think it's that important.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's got other things. He's working on other the Fool. Yeah.
He doesn't realize how much it affects the kids to not have him around. He just doesn't get that.
No.
So yeah, but he's just on his own thing right now, and since in his mind it's not going to make a difference one way or the other,
right?
He's not going to spend a lot of time on that. Maybe down the road, and maybe down the road he will make some changes. But he's all consumed right now with other things.
And I don't know if you can see in the chat, but he remarried and that really changed him. I'm trying to find out how old he is.
Yes, so sorry about that. How old is he? Yeah.
If we knew how old. So I'll just go ahead and say what's crossing my mind. So I don't know how old the children are, but if he is in between 30 and 40, then probably I had a Sil E. I just want to. Oh, he's 50. Okay. Yeah. So no, he's turned a corner that I don't think he's going to turn back. He may though at around 58, he will have a second Saturn return, and at that time he may take account of his life and realize that he has wasted something and try to rekindle that relationship. That's 8 years out though, so I mean that's not great for the kids right now, and the kids' feelings about him may have deteriorated by then. But then again, maybe they're going through stuff too. Who knows? I mean, maybe they're going to come up on their Saturn return at the same time Dad does, and they'll have a big old Saturn reunion. Who knows?
Well, and I think it's really important to remember that if he was with the children when they were younger.
Oh, look at their ages, 20 and 19. Yes, the 20-year-old is going to have a Saturn return right about the same time the dad is. So they may kind of connect at that time. So there are reasons for this too. There are reasons in each person's life path in this, the 20-year-old, the 19-year-old, and the dad. There are reasons that they are going along this path. And while it is sad, and I wouldn't want to wish this on anybody, they have to do their own journey.
Yeah.
And it's nothing to do with you. It doesn't, it's probably hurtful for you to watch, but
Well, that's what she's saying. It's hurting her very much.
yeah, but you're not responsible for his life. And I know it pains you to see your kids suffer, but this is a really huge thing. This is a karmic thing between the three of them,
Yeah.
right? There are lifetimes here that are being the karmic ribbons are being resolved. And sometimes when that happens, karma doesn't happen just because, you dreamed up a parking spot and so you got a parking spot. That's not karma. Karma is life and death shit. It is
Yep.
when you cause somebody's life to either change irreparably in a very, very destructive way, or you cause death, or they cause death to you, or changing your life irreparably. And these kinds of things with relationships between children, and then the parents divorce, and then they get another family, these kinds of things, that's karmic.
It is. Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it's not just like a life contract thing. Oh, I have to learn how to, email better or something. This is a big, heavy thing, and it's a karmic thing that they all need. That's the other thing. It isn't just the pain that they're getting out of this. They are going to learn some immeasurably valuable lessons out of this, and it is going to be painful, but they're going to learn so much.
Somehow growth seems to be painful a lot when we have to go through these growth times. And
well, what did Buddha say? Life is pain. All life is suffering. All life is suffering. That's why we all came to Earth. Although it is a wonderful classroom, it's also just a bunch of suffering, and that's how you learn. So
And try not to create a distance between your son and yourself, just because I realize you're hurting, but you still want to keep your relationship tight with your son. He just doesn't see that it's a big deal, and that it really is a big deal, but still be the mom to him. I mean, I know, what do you say, 50 years old?
how old they are, they're still your children.
Exactly. And it's not like you can sit him down and say, Roger, now darn it, I want you to pay more attention to your kids. But don't let it come between you and Roger. So
yeah, you can't be in his head, and you don't really know what his motivations are in this. But remember this, when the day comes, if the day comes that he does realize how much he's wasted with his kids, he's really going to need you.
Yeah.
He's really going to need you.
Definitely.
Yeah. So lots of love to Roger and his children, sending tremendous healing and love to all of them. And I hope for the best for all of them. I really do. It's a very difficult situation. Okay. All right. So I think that wraps up the questions. And thank you, ladies, both of you, for all of your input. This was just...
It was a pleasure.
It was amazing. It was a beautiful, beautiful hour and 13 minutes. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Me too.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Did you simulcast on your channel, Val?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right, great. So
thank you. I wouldn't be having this on my channel.
Yeah, right. So
you guys, I love you guys.
So thank you to all of Val's viewers who joined us on her channel, and thank you to all the viewers that joined on my channel. I really appreciate it. Cleo, thank you for being here, and stay tuned. Cleo's channel is coming. I hope everybody subscribe to both our channels, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.